Assalamu alaikum students. I hope you all will be fine. Online study session week 11. We will discuss about the chapter number 2, transport in humans and plants. Our body needs food and oxygen to produce energy. Waste are also produced in our body. Now the question is, how do materials move in our body? The supply of food, water, oxygen and removal of waste from our body is called transportation. Blood circulatory system in our body serves for this purpose. Circulatory system consists of heart, blood vessels and blood. Our heart is a pumping organ. It helps the blood in blood vessels. We will discuss about these parts of the circulatory system one by one. The first one is heart. Our heart is a muscular organ about the size of our fist. The heart is found in our chest. The function of the heart is it pumps oxygen poor blood to the lungs and oxygen rich blood to the body. Oxygen poor blood means deoxygenated blood that does not contain any oxygen. Oxygen rich blood means oxygenated blood that contain oxygen. Now, the structure of heart. There are 4 chambers in our heart, 2 upper chambers called arteria and 2 lower chambers called ventricles. The size of the ventricles are larger than the size of the arteria. Now moves to the working of the heart. Deoxygenated blood from the body enters in right atrium. Right atrium contracts and blood enters in right ventricle. This right ventricle contracts and sends the blood towards the lungs for oxygenation. In lungs, blood gets oxygen and becomes oxygenated. This oxygenated blood enters in left atrium. The left atrium contracts and sends blood to left ventricles. Left ventricles pushes blood towards body. In the diagram you will see these 4 parts of the heart: right atrium, left atrium, right ventricle and left ventricle. Blood vessels. The blood travels throughout the body through blood vessels. There are 3 types of blood vessels: arteries, capillaries and veins. Arteries. Arteries are the blood vessels that carry blood away from the heart. Arteries have thick and flexible walls. Most of the arteries carry oxygenated blood, but pulmonary arteries carry deoxygenated blood to the lungs. Arteries divide many times to form smaller tubes called capillaries. Veins. Veins are the blood vessels that bring blood back to the heart. Most of the veins bring deoxygenated blood back to the heart, but pulmonary veins bring oxygenated blood from the lungs to the heart. Capillaries. Capillaries are the smallest blood vessels in the body. They are so small that red blood cells flow through them, one cell at a time. Food and oxygen from the blood of capillaries diffuse into the cells. Waste materials and carbon dioxide from the cells diffuse into the blood of capillaries. Capillaries again join to form larger tube vessels called veins. Now, there are some diseases related to the blood circulatory system. High blood pressure. High blood pressure is the amount of force exerted by the blood against the walls of the arteries. If the blood pressure of a person remains above the normal value 120 to 80, this condition is called hypertension. The increased blood pressure can damage blood vessels and the result may be the failure of kidneys and heart. People with high blood pressure may have the symptoms such as headache, fatigue, blurred vision, and nosebleeds. Foods high in fat, high salt intake, smoking, obesity, diabetes, lack of exercise raise the risk of high blood pressure. Diabetes. Diabetes is a disease in which a person has high blood sugar because his and her body do not produce enough insulin. Now, insulin is the chemical that is produced in our pancreas. Insulin helps to decrease blood sugar. Without insulin, a person develops diabetes. The symptoms are loss of weight, frequent urination, excessive thirst and hunger are some of the symptoms of diabetes. If the patient does not control the level of blood sugar, he/she may at the risk of loss of eyesight, hearing, heart attack, gum disease, and kidney disorders. A person can control blood sugar level by taking medicines, eating proper diet, and taking exercise. Now students, there are some questions related to these topics. The first one is, what do you know about hydrogenated blood? Blood that contains oxygen is called oxygenated blood. What is the estimated size of our heart? Name at least 2 diseases that can damage our heart. Which arteries carry deoxygenated blood from heart to the lungs? Thank you.